It's the starting five. I'm Yaron Weitzman. The Golden State Warriors are just one win away from capturing their fourth title in 8 years. Game 6 is Thursday night. Here are 5 matchups to watch in that pivotal contest. Matchup number 1, it's the obvious one, Steph versus the Celtics defense. And this, if you're Boston, is the most disheartening part about their Game 5 loss. They got a poor Steph game finally. He did not hit a single three-pointer, and yet the Golden State Warriors were still able to hold on for the victory. This is partly a testament to just how great Steph is. He's able to create so much havoc, and he draws so much attention that even if he's not hitting shots, he still opens the floor for all his teammates, and he's still able to impact winning. The Celtics deserve lots of credit for forcing Steph into all those misses. Their guards were really aggressive in fighting over the screens and contesting Steph from behind. And the bigs made more of an effort to be active in terms of how they were defending Steph off the pick and rolls. You even saw Robert Williams III spook Steph out of a couple threes late in the second half. And yet, just look at these two stats. The Warriors were still plus 15 with Steph on the floor in Game 5, and they are 5-1 in the playoffs in games when Steph is not their top scorer. It's safe to assume Steph will shoot better in Game 6. The question is, can the Celtics figure out a way to keep Steph from absolutely exploding, and can they do so without selling out and opening up the floor to all of Steph's teammates? Number 2, Jayson Tatum versus quarter 4. On the one hand, this finals has been a testament and an example to Tatum's growth as a player. His passing has been really good, as you can see with his assist numbers, and he's become a really good defender. He was even guarding Curry at lots of points in Game 5. These are not traits you often see from a team's top scorer. The problem through the finals has been that Tatum has been inefficient when it comes to scoring from the floor. Tatum's field goal percentage is horrendous. He's been really bad late in games, and this isn't fluky either. The Warriors have basically realized that if you play up on Tatum, take away his step back three, and make him finish in traffic and drive through contact, that those are areas where he really struggles. As you can see, he's been really good in the finals from 3 and really good when getting to the rim. It's that in-between area where he's really struggled. And that's usually the real estate where you see superstars make an imprint on the game in these sorts of clutch situations. Yes, Tatum is playing a ton of minutes in the postseason, 41 on average. But if the Celtics are going to extend this series, they're going to need Tatum to find his stroke and explode for a big game. Number 3, the Celtics versus themselves. Speaking of Tatum, he just set one of those playoff records that you don't want to set. He is now the all-time leader in terms of turnovers in one postseason. He's also not the only Celtic throwing the ball all over the court. Jaylen Brown often dribbles as if he dipped his hands in butter. And I think Marcus Smart driving kicks have been the Warriors' most efficient offensive play. Making matters even worse, the Celtics aren't just giving the ball away. Most of their turnovers are coming in live ball situations, meaning they're translating into easy looks for the Warriors. That is a recipe for disaster against a team like Golden State, who is hard enough to beat on its own. Giving them free looks at the basket and extra possessions is a huge no-no. The Celtics know this is a problem too, and I don't think they'd say this, but I think this is the reason why a team like them, who I believe is more talented than the Golden State Warriors from top to bottom, now finds itself one game away from elimination. The turnovers is also a major reason why the Celtics' crunch time offense has been an absolute mess all postseason. If they throw the ball over the court in Game 6, there will not be a Game 7. Number 4, Andrew Wiggins 2.0 versus Andrew Wiggins 1.0. Yeah, this is a bit of an oversimplification. You can name any of the supporting players in this category: Looney, Draymond, Clay, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Robert Williams III, even Jaylen Brown, the way he's been playing. But I think Andrew Wiggins so far has been the difference maker. If I had told you before the series that not only would Wiggins be playing at this level, but that he'd be the second best player on the floor, A, would you believe me? And more importantly, B, would you think the Celtics would have a chance of winning the series? I think the answer to both of these questions is no. Wiggins has been absolutely fantastic this finals. Where this came from, I don't exactly know. This idea that this was a player always lurking beneath the surface, all he had to do was have a team that trusted him, is not exactly true. Minnesota had lots of different players, coaches, front office people come through the organization, and not a single one of them was ever turned into an Andrew Wiggins believer. Something has clearly flipped for him since arriving in Golden State. What it is, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's that Warriors championship DNA, which sounds like a cliche, but clearly something is happening here. Can he keep this up? I don't know, but I don't know if I want to bet against him. And if he does keep this up, I think the Celtics are in big trouble. Number 5, Boston fans versus the children. We got a do or die game in Boston, a game 6 on a Thursday night. I think it's fair to say that the crowd is going to be electric and maybe a little bit, well, cranky, salty, choose your word. I guess depends on the atmosphere and what happens in the game. Last time Golden State came through Boston, the fans welcomed Draymond Green the way only Celtics fans could, and Klay Thompson was not exactly a fan of the welcome message.
What were your impressions of the crowd and the environment tonight, and how much was that a factor in the game?
It was not a factor. We played in front of rude people before, dropping F-bombs with children in the crowd. Real classy. Good job, Boston.
I love Klay invoking will somebody please think of the children type thing here. My favorite part about that press conference was that it happened the same night that when Draymond Green was asked how he thought he played, and with his kids sitting right next to him, he replied this way.
Draymond, how do you feel you played?
Like,
either way, I do truly think the crowd could be a big factor in this game, either giving the Celtics a lift, or if things start looking a little shaky, I think that nervous energy can sometimes permeate onto the court as well. All that said, given how resilient the Celtics have been all postseason, and I think we'll see Tatum shoot a little better and see the Celtics take a little more care of the ball, and because of all that, I am picking a Celtics Game 6 victory, which would bring us to a Game 7 Sunday night in San Francisco. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, but I really think a 7th game is what this series deserves. That's your starting 5. I'm Yaron Weitzman. For more great NBA coverage, be sure to keep your eyes here.